Can you see my screen? Oh, right, okay. If you can see that, it just tells it's my front page. There we are, great. I'd just like to say a few words about this phrase which Susanna read to us from verse 16. Therefore we do not lose heart. I don't know whether you're tempted to lose heart at any time. And what I did, I just put it into one of these internet things, which gives you all the different versions in the Bible of that particular verse. And you can see some variations there, can't you? You can see what it might also refer to. So it talks about we do not lose heart can also mean become discouraged, spiritless, disappointed, afraid, give up, depressed, lose courage. So there's quite a few understandings of that. Therefore, we do not become discouraged. We do not become disappointed. We do not become afraid. We do not give up. We do not get depressed or lose courage. So clearly, the Apostle Paul, writing to the Corinthians, is encouraging them not to lose heart or to become discouraged. Now, why might they become discouraged? Let's have a look at the next page there. Why might they become discouraged? Because he says outwardly they are wasting away. Outwardly are wasting away. Well, speak for yourself, you might say. I'm not. Well, actually, we all are, aren't we? Even the youngsters amongst you, the less wrinkly and crinkly amongst us, we're all wasting away. And again, if we look in the different versions of the Bible, it talks about we are different ways of translating that same phrase. We're becoming older and weaker, wearing out, gradually decaying, showing signs of wear and tear. And on the outside, it often looks like things are falling apart on us. I think that's the Message translation of that version. So the reasons why we might be tempted to become discouraged is that things are not going how we'd like it. We're all getting a bit older. Even the youngest of us is getting older. We're getting weaker. We're perhaps not able to do some things that we once were, certainly the older ones amongst us. Others of us are growing up and getting stronger and the rest of it. And the reason why we might be tempted to give up and begin to become discouraged, I've jotted down two reasons. One is personal and one is church. We might be tempted to become a bit down because of stuff happening in our own lives, our worries and concerns, things going off in our life. We might, from a personal point of view, get a bit down. Or looking at the church. Now, the church can be understood either as our own little church here at Holy Trinity, or the church wider, the Church of England, or the Christian church. Whichever way we look at it, there are reasons why we might become discouraged. Numbers attending church are going down. People who think the church is irrelevant is going up. The church is often accused of doing and saying things that are unhelpful and wrong. And therefore, we might be tempted to become discouraged, to things are falling apart. And so I just like us to be encouraged from what Paul is saying, because he then goes on to say the good things. Okay, good things. Oh, sorry, I've pressed the wrong button. Here we are. The good news is the one who raised Jesus from the dead, he says, will also raise us up. We've looked at Easter and Pentecost a few weeks ago now. And the point about the message of the resurrection is that Jesus was raised from the dead, and also will we be. We too will be raised. Okay, so we're looking back to what happened in the past, and the good news that what happened in the past is going to affect us in the future. Secondly, Paul says that inwardly we are being renewed, even though outwardly things are going. The challenge to us is inwardly we are being renewed. And then finally, Paul looks forward and says our eternal glory far outweighs our light and momentary troubles. Well, speak for yourself. My troubles are neither light or momentary, you might think. Well, actually, in comparison to what might be, yes, they are. And Paul can say that his troubles are light and momentary. I suppose momentary means they don't last forever. No trouble we have will last forever. It's only for a relatively short time. And what is promised to us in the future far outweighs it. And chapter 5, verse 1 talks about an eternal house in heaven. So the challenge is, on one level, we are tempted to be discouraged. Paul says we have good news from the past, the resurrection of Jesus. From the present, we are inwardly being renewed. And for the future, the best is yet to be. In the future, we have an eternal glory. Now, this might seem a bit much on a Sunday in the beginning of June to talk about such mega things when really we're coping with our everyday life and all the rest of it. But the question is this: are we so discouraged sometimes that we tend to give up, that we think, oh dear, things are going to not get much better? Perhaps our church, Holy Trinity, very small numbers, but I do believe that actually the future is bright. The future is really going to be exciting. And because I believe we can be renewed. So enough for me. I'd like to just draw us in with two questions. Do you find it easy to lose heart? Are we sometimes easily discouraged? And what is it that you find it easy to lose heart with? And of course, the other one is, are we inwardly being renewed? So